How would you respond to some of your fellow members describing it as a
saying,
national security risk?
I want to address the issue that's in the headlines right now. I stand in full support and wholeheartedly agree with the statements that President Trump has made over these last few days with regards to the developments in Syria.
That was Tulsi Gabbard earlier today on Capitol Hill, where she was seeking support for her confirmation as Donald Trump's Director of National Intelligence. Given the events out of Syria this weekend, her sympathies for ousted dictator Bashar al-Assad are once again, understandably, under scrutiny. It also comes after a pretty damning story from NBC News I just talked through. But that story revealed that in 2018, congressional aides of both parties on the House Foreign Affairs Committee did not trust then Congresswoman Gabbard with the identity of a Syrian defector known as Caesar, who had exposed atrocities committed by the Assad regime. Joining me now is NBC News investigative reporter Dan DeLuce, who broke this story that I just talked through, and Muaz Mustafa, who is the executive director of the Syrian Emergency Task Force. This is quite a story and quite a time happening in the world. History is obviously happening over the past couple of days. So, Dan, let me start with you, because it feels like part of the big news in this piece is that congressional aides of both parties on the House Foreign Affairs Committee didn't trust then Congresswoman Gabbard with sensitive information, I mean, to say the least. But set the scene a little bit for us. This was a meeting that was happening, a closed-door meeting happening in 2018. She'd gone to Syria in 2017. Tell us a little bit more about what was happening in that room.
Yeah, so this was 2018, and this House Foreign Affairs Committee meeting, closed doors, with this Syrian defector who had become famous, known as Caesar, who had exposed these terrible atrocities committed by the Assad regime, executions, torture, a trove of photographs.
Caesar photos people may have heard of, yes.
Thousands of photos, okay? And they wanted to have a private meeting with him. And when he would meet with lawmakers privately, he would take off his mask and his disguise and be himself and reveal his identity. However, there was concern among both Republican and Democratic staffers. They weren't fully confident that Tulsi Gabbard could be trusted. Would she respect his anonymity? Would she do something to somehow reveal his identity? And so they agreed. They told Caesar's team, including Muaz, please just make sure he has his face covered when she enters the room. So that tells you the misgivings they had.
It's quite telling. And Muaz, you helped set up this meeting. Aides came to you from both parties, which I think is important for people to understand. What were the concerns they were expressing, and how did you decide what to do in that moment with these aides?
Yeah, so Caesar had testified before the House Foreign Affairs Committee in a public hearing before with the full disguise back in 2014. This was a chance to have this direct conversation with members without Caesar being, sweating and hiding and has to whisper so his voice is not heard. We were very excited about it, but we were all really worried about Tulsi. And the fact is, the Republican and Democratic staffers were the ones that even came to me first saying, SETF has been custodians of the Caesar file for a while. The anonymity and the protection of Caesar is paramount because Russia wants to kill him, Iran wants to kill him, Assad wants to kill him.
And what were they worried was going to happen? This is what I want people to understand.
We were all really terrified, especially the staffers, that she may take a photo of him, or maybe even record his voice, or identify anything about his identity and bring that information back to America's adversaries, whether that be Putin or Assad.
This was not your only interaction with Tulsi Gabbard. You were also on the trip in 2015 that she took. What is your view about whether or not she should have the top intelligence job?
Well, first of all, look, I'm proud to watch what's happening in Syria because it just liberated itself from a horrible dictatorship. And my worry was someone like Tulsi would do everything they can to try to keep Assad in power. She was a big fan. Now, Assad's gone. But my worry is now for my country, the United States. Tulsi Gabbard is almost a perfect product of Russian information operations. She backs things like, she's criticized allies, whether it be Japan or it be Ukraine. She follows an ideology that kind of distrusts, it goes along with the narrative that Putin puts out. And I think that's dangerous. I think it's dangerous for the Five Eyes, for example, right? Like the
countries we share intelligence with, the United States. Yes.
That's right. I mean, because in a hearing, we could not trust, her, leaking one person's name. how can France or Australia share intelligence if they're not so sure it might end up in the wrong hands? So they would maybe withhold intelligence. That's not good for our alliance. When I took Tulsi, along with other members of the House and Senator Kaine, to the border of Turkey and Syria to meet with victims and everything, this was in 2015. There were little girls that talked about how parents got killed, they got burned from a Russian Assad airstrike. Tulsi's response was, how do you know it was Assad? It's not about being misguided or misinformed. It's about, even when you see the facts, you're still following sort of a worldview of our adversaries. That's dangerous for any position in government, much less Director of National Intelligence.
Let me ask you before I let you go. Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton said something that was this weekend that I wanted to ask you about, that in the wake of Assad's departure, there might now be files uncovered in Syria about Tulsi Gabbard. We don't know that to exist at this point in time, but do you think that's possible?
I think that's very possible. I mean, first of all, our number one thing that we want to find in Syria is Austin Tice and other Americans that were taken by the Assad regime and get them home. But in our collection of intelligence, interrogation of some of these war criminals, etc., everything is being collected, and I think there could very much be a lot of information on Tulsi Gabbard because she's the highest profile anyone willing to visit a genocidal narco-trafficking tyrant, against her own party at the time. She was a Democrat, and against the other party, the Republicans, and just the establishment. And so they would definitely have a lot of files on her. They would definitely have made sure to have good relations and contacts with her. So I would not doubt at all. I think Bolton could be right.
Moaz Mustafa, Dan DeLuce, thank you both so much for joining me. Really excellent piece. We'll repost it online. I know you have a big trip coming up, so I really appreciate you both sitting down.
Thank you so much.
Coming up, with 6 weeks to go before the inauguration, Democratic governors are trying to figure out how they plan to govern in a second Trump administration. And for some, that means finding common ground when they can, saying things that might even